This has got to be one of my most hilarious and awful builds that I have ever made in The Sims 4. Hello, welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. And yes, I know typically these challenges are done in real time building, but this took me so long. I had no choice but to turn it into a speed build. So the idea behind this was to make a sucker lollipop themed home in Halloween candy colors. Let me tell you, this is so painfully bad that I almost considered not finishing the video and instead just deleting it and starting over. So the whole theme, other than being a giant lollipop, is green and orange, like candy coated, Halloween candy theme. So even though I couldn't find a bright orange to put on the top of the lollipop, think very bright, almost neon, like orange, like the kind of orange lollipop that you would see at the store, that vibrant, like neon orange. And because we don't have that in green anywhere in the game, I had to go with more of an avocado like a green, which, let me tell you, that was really hard too. This was literally the best I could come up with for the roof. I should have stuck with that first orange though. In the video, it looks a little more orange and a little more vibrant, so I kind of should have stuck with it. The one that's on there now is a little more yellow, but oh well. Also, the roofs on the circle pieces, the circle wall pieces, are completely messed up. And it was so hard finding doors and windows in the right color. I cannot tell you how long I spent just trying to figure out doors and windows alone. And also the colors, not just the like shape of the doors and windows, which there's nothing that you would even remotely associate with candy as far as doors and windows go, but the color was virtually impossible. There are no candy coated like color for doors and windows. You just couldn't find it at all anywhere in the game. I did outline the roof, which messed it up even more over the circular part of the build. But at this point, I'm like, nobody cares. It's the dumbest build ever in the history of The Sims. Anyways, let's just go with it. And so I moved to the inside and trying to figure out that. I knew I wanted it to be very Halloween themed, and I wanted it to stay orange and green and kind of have that candy coated look to it, which you'll get a better idea of here in a minute once I switch the furniture and stuff out for what I really want. That right there. See how that almost looks like a candy coated, like candy? Like, yeah, like a lollipop, but in that bright neon orange. That's what I was going for, that candy coated look, but in green and orange for Halloween. And it was so hard. You have no idea how hard it was. I wish I would have been doing this on a live stream because, oh my god, it was hilariously difficult. The amount of time it took me to just get things to match was ridiculous. It felt very ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie, at this point, I cut it out of the video, but at this point, I left for a while. Or maybe not quite at this point, but right shortly after this point, I quit for a while. And I didn't pick it up again until the next day because I had one simple wish. I wanted it to be a Halloween, so green and orange, candy coated looking house. And that was apparently too much to ask for. Honestly, I mean, who would have thought of doing a candy coated house decorating style? So I can't complain too much, but I really was like, what did I get myself into? Why would I ever decide to do something like this? This is really bad. But I wanted to do something fun and funny for Halloween, and I thought this would be it. A lollipop shaped house. What could be funnier than that? And I've seen other people take weird shapes and try to make homes out of them before, and it really turns out funny in the end. So I'm like, how bad can it really be? Well, it can be bad. Let me tell you, it can be really bad. There's no shortage. I kept going back and forth looking at the whole thing. By the way, you'll see this a few different times, thinking, what have I done? What am I gonna do with this thing? Especially the circular part. But, anyways, there was no shortage of orange ish, or at least somewhat orange toned stuff. And there was definitely no shortage of green. There's a lot of really ugly green colors in the game. None of them are even the pretty, like, sage green. There's a few minty or seafoam type greens or aqua greens, but for the most part, it's all this really horrible avocado 70s green, which for this is fine, but there definitely was no shortage of green. The problem was getting the exact same avocado green color amongst everything. So, like, the windows and the couch had that very vibrant, definitely can't miss it avocado green. But the boxes that I'm putting there had a more blue tone to them, even though in the game on my screen they look like they could have a hint of that avocado green in them. In the video here, they definitely take on a bluish tone. So, like, matching even that one simple color was virtually, virtually impossible. It really was. Oh, this is where I gave up. Okay, this is where I'm looking around going, what did I get myself into? And then I quit and I didn't come back until the next day. And I accidentally cut out the part where I hung the curtains up, but that's okay. It's not that big of a deal. They're just black curtains. Um, but yeah, it was painful to build this place. It took me 3 days because it was literally painful to build this place. I couldn't. Honestly, though, once I got going, this part, the stick part of the lollipop, didn't turn out terrible, honestly. It actually kind of turned out cute and looked very much like a Halloween themed, like, party house, like a house you would set up for a Halloween party. So in the end, it did turn out kind of cute. It wasn't until I got to the actual, like, lollipop part, the sucker part, the round part at the end, that I truly, truly, like, just completely gave up. And I just started throwing together whatever I could to make it look halfway decent. And by the time I got it done decorated, I'm like, that's it. I'm not even gonna landscape this place. This is so bad. It's painful. It's painful how bad this is and how horrible it was to create. But it's also kind of funny too. So I wanted to share it because it's also kind of funny too. And I thought, you know what? if this gets my creativity flowing again, if this inspires a laugh in someone else or gets their creativity flowing again, then it'll all have been worth it. But let me tell you, it was an experience. I was actually kind of having a little bit of fun doing this part. Once I got going, once I got into it, the kitchen and dining room was actually kind of fun. Um, See what I mean by that, like Halloween party vibe going on? I really heavily leaned into that. I thought if we're gonna go all the way with this. And so I really heavily leaned into it. And I kind of had some fun with it, honestly. I thought maybe I could do something with this. Maybe this could be an actually interesting build after all. And so then I moved on to doing the bathroom. Again, no orange doors. What were the Sims thinking, not putting orange doors in? So I had to use wood in a tone that's sort of reminiscent of orange as best as I could. I made it match the front door in that, I think, cottage living style. But yeah, I mean, come on, Sims. We need more orange stuff, apparently. We don't have enough, apparently. But anyways, like doing this, I'm like, hey, I could really get into this. I could really like this build. This could be a fun, funny little build. Like maybe this isn't so bad. Whew. I, yeah, I did not know what was coming for me in just a few minutes. So I move on to the lollipop top, I guess, part. And I'm thinking, this could be okay. This could be fine. Until I got to the windows. And I realized there were no windows for the curved walls in the avocado green. And I'm like, why? Why can't this just go well for me? Honestly, I should have just been laughing the whole time. It really is hilarious to look back on it. But I kind of was a little frustrated at this point. I kind of just wanted to cry and throw the whole thing away. In fact, at this point right here, I very heavily considered just not finishing and just not uploading it. I still have more Dreamlight Valley stuff to upload, and I'm like, you know what? I'm in my Dreamlight Valley era. We're just gonna go full in on that. What was I thinking trying to build this? I am so glad though that I did. I'm so glad that I finished it because there are parts of it that are really truly adorable and it is funny. It truly is funny. When you loosen up and you let yourself have some what? When you loosen up and let yourself have some fun, it can be funny. I so badly wanted to include purple. In my mind, the three colors of Halloween are, or four colors of Halloween are orange, green, purple, and black. And obviously, I was able to include the black and obviously the orange and green to a great extent as well. But the one thing I couldn't bring in very well was the purple. That was really, really hard to bring in. I tried, but it just didn't really fit. So I made a couple of purple little toys, or at least what looked vaguely like purple. Oh, and the reason why I picked that tent, I know it's more of like a Christmas candy tent, but it is a candy tent. So it fits the theme. So in my mind, it works. And yes, I'm fairly certain on that curved wall, your Sims can still use that sink. I did not playtest it though, but I am fairly certain that they can still use that sink. That wall there is so messed up. It's annoying, but there's nothing you can do about it. Short of having a massive, massive bathroom, like the size of one of those bedrooms, there's really nothing you can do about it in a curved room. Let me tell you, I tried a lot, and there really isn't anything you can do about it. So I'm at the bedrooms now and I'm thinking, this can't possibly get any worse. Like, I've seen the worst of this, right? The bedrooms have to be relatively easy, right? Wrong. Very, very, very wrong. The bedrooms are probably the worst rooms in the entire house. I tried my best. And in the end, it just wasn't enough. They don't look remotely Halloween other than the wall stickers that I put up on the wall. I think of the pumpkin or the freezer bunny, one of those two, the Halloween stickers. And they don't even match. That's so bad, but they don't even match. The green carpet does not match the bluish colored wardrobe and end tables, which do not go well with that orange bed. It's so bad. I can't help but laugh at myself right now because it is so bad. The kids' bedroom is where I kind of truly just gave up. I was like, I'm not even gonna landscape this place. Can't. I will cry. I cannot even with this place anymore. I think I'm gonna do this again in the future, as painful as I was. I think I'm gonna do this again in the future, but as a live stream because I think that would be awesome and hilarious. I think that it would make one of the greatest live streams of all time. So, in the end, as much as I cried and complained and laughed my way through this build, the only thing that truly turned out unusably bad is that family bathroom there. I don't think it's going to be considered private now that I'm looking at it and thinking about it. Because the walls don't connect and it's not its own separate room, it might not be considered private. So that might be the only bad thing about it. Otherwise, there are some elements of it that actually turned out kind of cute, but it was a painful process. I'm not gonna lie. If you enjoyed this build, don't forget to like and subscribe. I did not do screenshots. I could not bring myself, so download it from the gallery. Thanks.